Ludhiana Management Association dinner evening. We have a very special guest today with us on a special day. Before we begin the event, I would like to start with the blessings of the Almighty. Can I invite all the past presidents of Ludhiana Management Association, along with the president, Mr. Dheeraj Jain, and our guest of the day, Sudhanshu Mani, to please join us for the underlining. May I now request Mrs. Sudhanshu Mani to join us on the dais. And may I request Ms. Dheeraj Jain, President of Ludhiana Management Association, also to please be with us on the stage. Thank you. It's always learning and new beginnings, and we keep improving. This time, a lot of new changes are on the way in Ludhiana Management Association. Just to give a glimpse of Ludhiana Management Association, which was formed in 1978 as an affiliated unit of All India Management Association. We just recently attended the All India Management Association's 50th National Annual Conclave, and a team of members from Ludhiana Management Association visited and participated there actively. Main objectives of Ludhiana Management Association have been to enhance the competence of member organizations through management education, to provide training and development to entrepreneurs and executives at all levels, interaction with top-notch industrialists and CEOs, and to provide a platform for management professionals, entrepreneurs, and businessmen to discuss their issues. Over the period, it has come up as one of the most outstanding and fastest growing management association in Northern India, with 600 plus leading industrialists, entrepreneurs, top management executives, management academicians, bankers, professionals, as members. LMA has been conferred with Best LMA Award for multiple times by Embark. Some of the past presidents have been a galaxy of eminent industrialists. Two past presidents, namely Shri Brij Mohan Lal Manjal, Chairman, Hero Motor Corp Limited, and Mr. S.P. Oswal, Chairman, World Group, have been awarded Padma Bhushan, while past President Mr. Rajinder Gupta from Trident Group has been awarded Padma Shri. Mr. Sunil Kant Manjal, Chairman, Hero Corporate Services, has also been the past president of CII. Some of the past keynote speakers have been His Excellency Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Shri P. Chidambaram, Shri K.V. Kamath, Mr. Anand Mahindra, Mr. T.N. Session, Mr. Arun Jaitley, Shri J.J. Kirani, Mr. Shekhar Gupta, and there is a long list. we are proudly having one more such eminent speaker with us today. I would request Mr. Raghav Chaudhary, Joint Secretary, Ludhiana Management Association, to read a brief about our keynote speaker for the day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a privilege to be standing here and reading the introduction for Sri Sudhanshu Mani. Thank you everyone for joining on this beautiful evening. I'm delighted to be standing amongst some of the most elite people of the city. In the heart of India's vast landscape stands the Indian Railways, a symbol of unity, progress and technological progress. Today we not only celebrate the iconic institution but also honor a visionary leader who has shaped its modern legacy, Sri Sudhanshu Mani. His contributions, marked by innovation and excellence, have redefined the tracks of progress. Indian Railways, under the Government of India, is among the world's largest railway networks, spanning 68,000 kilometers. It not only connects India's diverse regions, but also bridges its rich cultures and economies. Established in the 1850s, the growth has been pivotal in knitting together the cultural tapestry of the nation and fueling its economic engine. Now operating numerous daily trains that caters to both passengers and cargo, organized into zones and divisions. It ensures efficient service. Sri Sudhanshu Mani, an esteemed figure in the Indian Railways, has been synonymous with innovation and leadership. With a career spanning over 3 decades in the Indian Railway service of mechanical engineers, Mr. Mani has been pivotal in steering numerous projects that have significantly impacted the railway sector. His journey, characterized by a blend of technical proficiency with administrative acumen, has seen him navigate through various capacities, including pivotal roles in production units as well as workshops of Indian Railways. Sri Mani's tenure as the General Manager at the Integral Coach Factory ICF in Chennai is particularly noteworthy. Under his leadership, ICF not only enhanced its production capabilities but also embraced technological advancements, thereby contributing to the modernization of Indian Railways. His foresight and commitment to sustainable development were evident in various initiatives aimed at enhancing energy efficiency and reducing the environmental impact of train production and operations. The Vande Bharat Express, India's fastest and most advanced train, represents a monumental leap in the nation's railway sector. This semi-high-speed, self-propelled train, entirely designed and manufactured in India, is a testament to the country's capability in rail technology. At the heart of this groundbreaking project was Sri Sudhanshu Mani. As the General Manager of the Integral Coach Factory ICF in Chennai, Mr. Mani's leadership and vision were instrumental in bringing the Vande Bharat Express to fruition. Under his guidance, the ICF team overcame numerous challenges to produce a train that not only boasts of superior speed and comfort, but also embodies the spirit of Make in India. Sri Sudhanshu Mani's unwavering commitment to innovation and excellence is firmly positioned in the Vande Bharat Express as a symbol of India's progress in the global railway landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on the remarkable journey of Sri Sudhanshu Mani, let's dive deeper into his legacy. The following video offers a glimpse into his unparalleled contributions and the indelible mark he has left on Indian Railways landscape. May I request technicals to have the video on the screen, please.
Mr. Sudhanshu Mani, the man behind the Vande Bharat Express. Mr. Mani, as the head of the Integral Coach Factory, Chennai, dreamt big and followed it with a meaningful vision to lead an excellent team of officers and staff with purposeful resolve and action, and created India's first modern train, Trinity. Mr. Mani retired in the 8th grade of the Government of India from the Indian Railway Service of Mechanical Engineering as General Manager, Integral Coach Factory, Chennai, after serving Indian Railways for 38 years. He also served as Railway Advisor in the Embassy of India, Berlin, for 3 years, interacting with railway systems in Europe and other advanced countries on behalf of Indian Railways. He is a fellow of the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, London. He has authored 6 books, including 4 on a subject he has a special passion for, art and railways, 1 each on environment and greenery, and the last one on his journey of the Train 18 project. He now works as an independent consultant, but is also engaged in multiple activities like serving on the advisory and editorial board of leading railway and metro journals, writing for leading journals and portals, organization of Awadh, keynote speaker and panelist on platforms such as IIMs, IITs, TEDx, BMI and CII conferences, anchor for news analysis, art and culture on YouTube channel The Republic of India, and the promotion and curation of visual arts in association with the prominent art gallery of Lucknow. He writes opinion pieces regularly on national issues of engineering and project management in Hindu Business Line, Deccan Herald, Pioneer, IRJ, moneycontrol.com, parcelwatch.com, etc. He led the team to build the first ever indigenous semi-high-speed train in India, the Vande Bharat Express. From concept to design engineering to manufacture to validation, all done in India by Indians. His journey in leading and completing this unique project is recounted in his bestseller book, My Train 18 Story. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Sudhanshu Mani.
Technicals to please provide a slide changer.
Good evening.
Oh, before we begin, we'd like to honor you. May I have Mr. Anil Kumar, past President of Ludhiana Management Association, on the stage to present the token of welcome to our special guest.
So, a very good evening to all the elite ladies and gentlemen of the Ludhiana Management Association. As I wait for my slide changer, when the list of previous keynote speakers were being read, so वैसे तो मैं बड़ा ठीक आदमी हूँ, लेकिन वो लिस्ट सुन के I became nervous and I was looking at a Patli Gali, but Patli Gali is not available. In any case, it is the invitation of Mr. Soi to begin with, and later, Ms. Thakkar and Mr. Chaudhary and Mr. Jain, who I met in Hyderabad. आप सबकी मोहब्बत का तकाजा है that I am here. And so, can I have this slide change? Is the volume all right? Sarvi is simply speaking about the train you just heard about. Some of you have heard about the train. And some takeaways for leadership and innovations. Not all may apply to you, but maybe some are beneficial to you. So there is a flyer, and I'm sorry I cannot look funnier than I already am, so sorry Mr. Sinclair. And to expect that all you accomplished people will listen to me patiently just because I have a story to tell is like expecting that a bull will not charge you just because you are a vegetarian. Somebody asked Einstein once that if the human mind is so developed that it can decipher the atom, why is it that the same mind cannot keep that atom from destroying us? So Einstein in his own way gave a long winding answer, but the summary was that the human mind is much smaller than human vanity. We are in Amrit Kal, which means that by 2047, it's not a question of if. I believe we are going to be a developed country. It's only a question of when, before 2047. And what better words to recall at this stage is these wonderful words of the Peaceful President, who incidentally I heard was addressed to earlier. The dream is not the thing that you see in sleep, but is that thing that you sleep. In The Merchant of Venice, Portia at one stage says that if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor man's cottages, princesses' palaces. In the same way, if to do were as easy as to come to you and lecture about it, so ... I will confine myself to only some little things that I have been able to accomplish thanks to a wonderful team which I will always be pleased with. Proof of the pudding, as I call it. 4 years after leaving IIT Kanpur and then later University of Roorkee, which is IIT now, I joined Railway as a trainee engineer for 4 years. 4 years, 38 years in Railways service, and another nearly 5 years after retirement, and not regretting one moment of that, criticizing it all the time but loving it at the same time. I am a railway man for life. Indian Railways is not something you can ignore in India. You can love it or hate it. Nevertheless, all you accomplished people, no cock and bull is going to work, but nevertheless, जैन साहब से एक गलती हो गई. अभी उन्होंने सोई साहब को बुला के धीरे से कहा कि कोई टाइम लिमिट मत डालो. I like the sound of my voice, so you made a mistake, sir. But I'm not a great speaker, but I draw a lot from what I call my poet uncles. 650 years old Kabir, whom even Guru Nanak drew upon heavily. मैं तो मामूली इंसान हूँ. I have an English uncle called Shakespeare, who is 450 years old, and very near uncle, young uncle Khalid of Delhi, more than 200 years old. As I said, I cannot go long and winding because after all there is a time regime. But remember, I am a railway man for life. I have an inherent right to be derailed. So any attempt to derail me is not going to work. I told the organizers that after all, it's all old wine in new bottle. So I say this with some hope that the wine of this story is like men. Like good men, like you and me, who mostly mature with age, except some who will turn to vinegar. And I hope this story has not turned to vinegar, so I start what I call my Kuezai Sakari tale. At the heart is this simple philosophy which I learned from others. What you got on the left side graphic, what you see on the top right, that it's possible to drive for results without losing focus on empathy, and respect for everyone. And success is not the outcome. Success is always what you have given your work, your commitment, your passion, your hard work. Once you've given that, you've succeeded. Outcome is not always in your hands. And also in retrospect, some of you would be familiar with what design thinking is. I was not. But simply a project where you empathize, not with yourself, empathize with the stakeholders, determine what is needed, define idea, make a prototype test, and turn out. Railways have come moving, as Mr. Suki was speaking about railways. So, yes, an instrument of subjugation and control used by Gandhiji by traversing the vast distances of the nation to unite. People give them a spirit of freedom and independence and liberty. Independence and then as a vehicle of growth. Where does it stand today? Only two examples I would talk. 8.5 billion passengers means everybody on earth travels Indian Railway once a year. What is not good is only 28% share in freight, which used to be 90%. Not good because it pushes up logistics costs. Nevertheless, is railways at a springboard for quantum growth or not? It is. We'll talk about it as we go along. I'll begin with what you've heard, Make in India. When this government came, it was their intention to make India a factory of the world. A manufacturing hub, there were some successes, a lot of failures. Came COVID, it was rejigged into Atmanirbharta, with the hope that these lines of Make in India would roar into self-reliance. Liquidity infusion, money in pocket of people, collateral free loans, so much on the supply side, much less on demand side. Nevertheless, I don't understand all that. I'm not an economist or a financial wizard. All I understand is there is a spirit of Atmanirbharta which is largely getting missed. And that is the pride of creating your own. Let me give you an example of railway. So whatever moves on track, train, locomotive, coaches, trains, whatever, has all come from abroad. The spirit, the creation was either in US or Europe or Japan. We are mere manufacturers. And in spite of transfer of all document specifications, design protocols and everything, classroom training, visit abroad, which are like picnic abroad, we are still not able to make it to the standard we imported. And why is that? Because technology, ladies and gentlemen, is a creation. It lives in the heart and the mind. The mind and the heart of the creator. There is no way to transfer that. So one of my poet uncles has said, "Mere sher aina khane mein teri beshumar adaon ke." I can go poetic about your various aspects of your beauty. "Mere sher aina khane mein teri beshumar adaon ke, magar aisi bhi hai koi ada jo rahegi seena iraz." There is something which, about your beauty which will remain buried in the recesses of my heart. There is no way you're going to get access to that. And it needs restlessness to get peace. एक बेकरारी चाहिए to get that afiyat को peace पाने के लिए. उसी शायर ने कहा है कि शजर हजर का जुमूद हस्ती पयाम इबरत है गाफिलों को. This existence of these trees and stones may be a message for the ignorant. शजर हजर का जुमूद, आखिरी लाइन, दूसरी लाइन पे मैं चाहूंगा कि शजर हजर का जुमूद हस्ती पयाम इबरत है गाफिलों को, जिसे तलाशे सुकून नहीं है भला वो क्या बेकरार हो. Searching for peace, you must need that bechani. The message is simple. We are stuck between being mindlessly global and hopelessly local. The truth, ladies and gentlemen, is closer to being local, unless the gap is too large. You have to challenge yourself to do 110, 120, 125% more than what you are capable of, good or bad, in creating your own, because that will give you that ownership and pride. Not good enough? Okay. Not very loud, right? Is it on? Yeah. Okay. Creating your own with pride and leadership. That brings me to a very simple question, ladies and gentlemen. Not about engineering, about doing anything, anywhere. What is it that you need first and foremost? Can I have some answers? Yeah, absolutely. Vision, of course, without which you are not going nowhere. So all these are great answers, without which you are not going anywhere. But currently, from my experience, learned from my seniors, I think this is the first thing that you require is to love what you do, love the people you work with, those above, those below, colleagues, and absolutely love the organization you own or work for. If you're dealing with human beings, you are a leader. It does not matter how many people report to you. And a leader has to manifest. It's not natural, not human to love everyone. As a leader, you have to manufacture that love. You have to contrive, you have to construct that love. And once it becomes a habit, the dividends are immense. Because human resource is still the most important resource you have, irrespective of all the AI and wherewithal you may have. Privately after this, I can tell you a story about AI which is frightening as well as diverting. Nevertheless, today, it is the human resource. एक लफ्ज़ से मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है. This word, love, has this brief story. एक लफ्ज़ से मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है, सिमटे तो दिले आशिक और फैले तो ज़माना है. For me, it was easy because I worked for this organization, and you would know on the scramble for the window seat as you scrambled as a child, as a teenager to go there, as the wonder, the marvel, the magic of Indian way of life passed you by. Desolate here, crowded there. Mourning, celebration, joy, pathos, hard work, grind, indolence, sloth, rivers, mountains, valleys. So much so that the journey itself became the objective, not the destination. Unlike the train I'm going to talk about, the doors of the train when it's moving can open and you can look behind, and when you see that snaking train, it can still give you goosebumps. And the station of an Indian, the platform of an Indian railway station is still a place where the richest and the poorest stand next to each other to catch the same train. In Tempest, Antonio says at one stage, the travelers never did die. Fools at home condemn them. I dare say that if you are not enamored, in some way or the other, by the fantastical view you see from the window of an Indian railway train, then perhaps you are a prisoner of your own, confined and conflicts. That said, I'm not here to talk to you about this romance. I'm here to talk to you about one angst and a dream, even as a child, and I'm talking, some of you are older than me, but most of you are not. I'm a railway family child, and I traveled trains, but we used to get magazines from abroad. I'm talking of late 60s, early 70s. One would look at the trains of Japan or Europe, and I would wonder, with such a large pool of engineers and such a large network, where is India going to have an aesthetically superior, technologically advanced, speedier, modern train? Why has the image of an Indian railway train, the recall, close your eyes, remained the same, in spite of reduction of some technology and some blue stuff? It's the same box-type train that will come to your mind. That remained the angst even after I joined railways, and a dream, and that was the seed of the story. The message is very simple. In any organization, love is fine, you start with it, but change alone is truly permanent. In government, the donkeys and the horses all move in a single file. And 5% of those donkeys get a chance to be thrown up as a general manager, which is like an institution in railways, because everyone wants to become a general manager in the end to do things which they don't do all their lives. This donkey also got a chance to be upgraded as a general manager. Everyone wants to join a zone. There are 16 zones and 5 factories. Because zones are field terms. Large domains, factories are smaller domains. I went to the chairman. I had worked with him. I requested to be posted in integral coach factory, which was vacant. He expected that I was coming requesting for a zone. He was quite relieved to hear that I wanted integral coach factory Chennai. I was immediately afforded for posting there. I went there, joined there. This was set up in 1960s as a dream of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to be a manufacturer of current technology railway coaches. But the dream was not matched by any vision. A railwayman like me and no action plan. He kept on doing more of the same over the years. Many expansions, but more of the same. The gentleman you see in the center, the garland, any guesses who is he? Well, that's Premier Chow and Lai of China, who came to Integral Coach Factory in 1955 and wrote in the visitor's book, what you see on the left there. All Orient should be proud of Integral Coach Factory Chennai, and I would like Chinese engineers to come and learn how to make coaches. And 60 years hence, where have we reached? How many of you have seen this title? Let me read it for you first. You see what you see on the screen. It says, the folk-room, Indian overrode China. Population, India overtakes China. In bad taste. Nevertheless, should we not pause and think why such cartoons are being made about us? Another instance, some of you would be aware that SAP OpenAI, the guy comes here and says that it's completely hopeless to challenge us in whatever. However, it is still your responsibility to make the attempt. We can debate why we are here where we are, hierarchical culture, arguing the past, lack of scientific thinking, copy, paste, ethos, and so many you can write your own answers. This is just what came to my mind. I don't care. The point is that we have to pause and think. Thanks to empowerment given by this government, a general manager of an Indian Railways has been empowered so much. I was invited to speak on being a government CEO at IIM Kolkata as I joined in August 2016. So I didn't know what a CEO was. Some of you are CEOs. I did my internet research and found that the empowerment given by this government excels that of the CEO of a large corporation. There is no limit of the money you can spend. You need sanctions, that's it. Nothing goes to the ministry. Now, there are two ways to look at it. One is, after all, my uncle has said that what's in a name, a rose would smell as sweet or rotten. Or my Delhi uncle has also said that हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत लेकिन दिल के कुछ रखने को ख्याल अच्छा है. But there is another view that you afforded such a large platform with a variegated palette of colors for you to paint it in the shades and hues of your liking. And that's the thinking me and my team was at. It's so easy to start work in government, may not apply to you, because we are still living in our colonial past, in government particularly. It's some rub-off in private sector as well. Boundaries, propriety, hierarchy, walls. If you just break that, you get a lot of success without doing anything else. What you see on the left top is where in the main admin block of ICF, 12,000 employees, where the janitor used to keep the brooms and buckets I threw that out, and I made this family tree. Those dots you see are nothing but faces. 12,000 faces, nobody bigger or smaller. And it became a selfie point for people to come with their families, zoom there for a month and take a photo with their family. Even I had to labor to get I used my attendant services to find my own monk. But the spirit of belongingness it gave to everyone was something, as I said, see, to believe what you see on the right. So 10,000 employees, 10,000 crore budget. I had many ideas. I said 0.5% is mine, dilapidated place, colony, workshop, community places. I'm going to improve everything. So that number 2 told me, please do everything that you want, but don't interfere with production. We do a lot of coaches, we do more of the same, don't come near that. So I had a lot of time. I would just take a walk. And in one walk, I would meet roughly 500 people in 1.5 hours. So GM comes to the factory on occasions, ceremonies, to cut a ribbon or whatever. And here I was just walking there, and I was asking them a question I was strictly forbidden by my staff not to have ever asked. And the question was, any problem? I was told you'd be flooded with problems. Believe me, 99%, 99.5%, the answer was. Now these people didn't know who the GM was, let alone his name or face. I would say, I'm the general manager of Interior Factory, any problem? And the answer would invariably be, no problem, sir. If there was some problem with the toilet or lighting, some engineer falling into do it. But it was only a matter of building bonds that all. The people, we are in it together. There is not one ruler and ruled. In a way, some of you would remember what you see on the screen now. So that's Manani Rahul Gandhi, who went and hugged the Prime Minister in the Parliament. Do you remember that? Do you remember what the Prime Minister said? The Prime Minister said कि आज पता लगा कि गले लगने और गले पड़ने में क्या फर्क होता है. So I was going and गले पड़ो these people. These are some of the main, some 8-10 examples I always say. For shortage of time, I'll only recall one more. And that is what you see on the right bottom, is learning from the politicians who have to glorify themselves or bureaucrats. And it is spread on the private sector as well. We think that if we launch a facility, cut a ribbon or something, put our name on the plaque, then we are immortalized. And when you want to immortalize those underlings, तो एक plaque पे देखोगे आपका नाम है, उसके बाद दो चंद्रों का और नाम है और कुछ ठेकेदार का भी नाम है, सारे नाम आ जाते हैं उसमें, सब अमर हो जाते हैं. When I was a young officer, we used to, those days, I'm talking about 84, if you got a computer, you got an air conditioner with it. So couldn't fit an AC there. So we made a room and our GM was invited to inaugurate it. He almost read it, he saw the plaque and saw his name. My name was also there. He lost his shirt. He left. I had to stop him, plead with him, and then he said, remember, I am a leader of 1 lakh persons of Eastern Railway employees. If through my leadership I am unable to live in the hearts of these 1 lakh people, you think I am going to live in that stone? I learned a lesson that day. So I called the chief engineer, I said, so you are a 65 years old, 70 years old factory. Please go and count how many plaques are there in this factory or community or colony or wherever. With the name, leave alone the politician. The name of the chairman of the railway board, the member, the secretary, the HODs, everyone. Count and let me know tomorrow how many are there. He comes next day. I said, don't miss even one. He said, 165 such plaques exist. I said, I give you time till evening, put all your staff, extract these plaques, throw them in the dust. That's where they belong. From now on, I'm going to spend a lot of money in addition to this 0.5% of 10,000 crore. I'll also get sanctioned 500-600 crore every year to improve this place. I will get something or the other inaugurated every week, at least twice a week. And everything will be launched by the senior most staff of that area who is about to retire, because he is the one who has given his blood, sweat and tears to that area. He is the one who would stand next to it with his family. His or her family, his spouse, his children, his parents, with tearful eyes, and take back with him for the rest of his life sweet memories of the place where he worked. Not an officer who comes for 2 or 3 years, doesn't even remember where he's becoming one. Unless it's very large, above a couple of crores, then we will have no politician, no bureaucrat, some luminary of that area, the kind of list you read. Please come. Some Bharatanatyam dancer for the sportsmen, for sports facilities and so on. Otherwise, staff. We did 500 such inaugurations in those 2.5 years. Now 500. If one man has influence over 10, 5,000 is nearly half the factory, won over by the simple means. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to do nothing about it. This is something I will talk about it privately. I don't want to waste too much of time on this, but love is fine, but you see every organization. So, will you give me a 10-minute hint? Because, I will lose myself. I know. I'm sorry about that. I requested for it. I don't put that it's not there. Nevertheless. So, you would have heard of the square root rule? Somebody? Well, it says that the square root of number of people you employ do 50% of your work in any organization. I don't quite agree with it. I think about 25% of the people carry the organization on their shoulders. They are self-motivated. You cannot motivate them. If you try to motivate them, you will demotivate them. All you need to do is an occasional pat on their back. There are 2 or 3% who would never work. They find their way in every organization, and the rest 65-70% are those who watch these 2-3%. If there is a premium on working, or if there is a punishment for not working, those 2-3% are the only ones you have to look at. Nobody else. And how? In government it's become a fashion to give charge sheets and punishment. Increment go, railway may pass PTO and all kinds of punishments. There is nothing like a punishment. No punishment. I learned it from nobody, not mine. There are only 2 things. Either you reform, look at the person, see the possibility of a reform. Usually it may not be there, but given you are the boss, either you reform or kick him out. Throw him out. And you would wonder whether government may be thrown out of that. I'm consulting for the last 5 years. Let me tell you, it's easier to throw out people in government than in private sector. All you need is that will to do it. Provisions exist. We removed 165 people, such shortcuts that you see on the screen in 2.5 years. And mercy followed, not before throwing them out. You see, mercy is in the hands of Almighty. आपके हाथ में क्या है? रब नेड़े की कसून. My uncle has also said, you see, that nothing emboldens so much, if I can say, misplaced mercy. क्षमा शोभती उस भुजंग को जिसके पास गरल हो. क्षमा, you know, mercy. Bhujang is snake, garal is poison. क्षमा शोभती उस भुजंग को जिसके पास गरल हो, उसका क्या जो विषहीन दंत रहित विनीत और सरल हो. Show your fangs first. Nobody respects a poisonous snake. For those 2-3% you have to be a snake. Couple other things before perhaps I would like to come to the story, and that is, we have learned from the Japanese and German, and especially in government again, that there should be ideation, quality circle, Kaizen, all this lip service. It's some idea floating on top with the leader, pushed down, emerges as an idea from the bottom. Because we don't listen. We only want to listen what we want to listen. Every man has ideas, ladies and gentlemen. I am an idealist man. I was able to do something wherever I was posted. Purely because I listened. I had no ideas. Listened to 10 people just below me, 100 people below me. A vast reservoir of ideas. Picked up what I liked, picked up what people liked, and agenda was done. No contribution of mine. Every man has ideas. All you need to do is not to mandate or command, demand, cajole or business, but to encourage, give it a platform. अगर शरद है तो भड़के, जो फूल है तो खिले, तरह तरह की तलब तेरे रंग के लब से है. ये तरह तरह की तलब और तरह तरह के रंग आपके लब में है, इसको भी मालूम है. And this is also very important. Just like the boundaries built by the colonial rule that we suffered, unfortunately, there is something even more important. And that is, when Indians started getting into position of power and authority, Britishers never thought that these Indians can be trusted. So, rigmarole of rules, regulations, provisions, vigilance, all to keep the Indians in check. And 75 years after independence, we deal with the same system in government, not off in private sector. We give people position of power and authority, but we don't trust them. Has this lack of trust taken us to a corruption-free society? I think it has made us more corrupt. It's time that we give trust a chance. Some people will misuse it, corrupt people will, but most of the people will make use of their trust, and so many things will get done. I'll only give a brief example. So, 5,000 plus parts go into making a train. We were making a train for the first time. All new parts, new design. A supply chain which must not break over an 18-month period, starting only after 6-8 months of design. So I said the chief design engineer mechanical and the chief design engineer electrical, I place complete trust in you. General manager, HODs, finance, stores, everyone else are mere signatories. Nobody dare question what you decide. So you want to do it, get it from one source, two sources, multiple sources, advertised tendering, open tendering, whatever. Your decision, and that's fine. And what did that trust work? Except minor hiccups. These 5,000 parts all came in time for the train to be assembled, and it was only the result of trust. Had we gone through the way Indian Railways have done and works, the train would have been built. On the entire horizon of the country, this is trying to give trust a chance. Because mistrust and distrust has not taken its form. So every organization has this problem of nonsense. You cannot get over it, but you can try to reduce it the way I reduced it. See, in government, things work on files which move from one desk to another for people to give decisions. But it's always easy not to take a decision, so it would go from table to table, table to table, and a good jalebi would be made. My answer was that if I learned of such a case, I would invite those officers to my room, order jalebis with government money, and serve 15 jalebis each to the jalebi makers, take one or two myself, my tenders and my secretary would take one or two, and they would be told that you have really earned these jalebis at government expense because you have been such an expert jalebi maker. You have to eat it. Diabetes or no diabetes, you will finish these 15 jalebis. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 are fine. Eating 15 jalebis is not never a pleasure. This message went through, and to some extent the nonsense could be reduced. So 10 more. 20. Oh, there's a lot of leeway I'm getting here. So another problem. Whenever you get a new job anywhere, ask yourself, or maybe your employees, first thing, a new job, first thing, more than. Always. Whereas, if you depend on those 20, fall back on those 25%, it's always better because one of my aunts told you that too many cooks spoil the broth. I've decided, and that's another story how I tackled the union, but I said, government is overstaffed, so is ICF, you are 12,000. Whoever retires with honor, fine. I'm not replacing anybody. And I'm lucky many are retiring, so by the time I leave, I'll make it 10,000. And what happened? Details are many, but basically through some productivity measures and optimum outsourcing and so on, number of people required to manufacture one coach came down from 8 or 9 to as low as 2.5, and the production went more than double. I'll also not go into detail here, except that the message is always my mother earth and my sister water. We revived one lake which was dying with sewage dumped in by unauthorized colonies for 30 years. First of all, we said nothing going to dump sites, everything will be recycled. So Chennai, you can recycle solid waste. Wet waste was all composted and used in the colony itself. A dilapidated colony which we were trying to improve, nevertheless it became one of the cleanest colonies because every Sunday I would take a walk in the colonies. And wherever I threw even a small garbage piece of stone somewhere, I would call the ladies, particularly ladies around, and I said, why do you permit somebody to throw garbage here? Now one of them had done it, of course. The peer pressure itself became such that everyone started following the discipline of handing over to these people who were collecting from house to house. And I said, stop this sewerage, block it. I want this lake to live again. So the MP was AIDMK, the MLA was DMK, both of them turned against me because the sewerage was overflowing in these colonies. I said, I am a government administrator, I don't have CSR like you people have, but I can ask some companies to help you, but I will not permit you to dump sewerage in this lake. I will now revive this lake with government effort. To cut a long story short, this lake became a picnic spot, as you see. And pelicans which used to descend on this lake 40 years back started revisiting the lake again. In 2019, when the city of Chennai had a great water shortage, ICF Lake was one of the water bodies which still retained water. तालाब में सब्जा है ना तालाब में पानी क्यों कर कोई परिंदा तेरी दीवार पे उतरे. We have to take care of our mother ourselves. powerful message in this one, ladies and gentlemen. I said, so there is in government the system of Vishakha, which means if a lady employee reports a case of sexual harassment, an inquiry is set up and the whole rigmarole goes on, usually doesn't result into anything. So I said, I'm an administrator. I'm not the Supreme Court Judge of India. I would like my officers and myself to keep my ears and eyes open. I learned such a case informally. I need nothing from the victim. No statement, no report, inquiry. I give myself 4 hours to determine through informal channels if the complaint is genuine. Because there can be a false complaint as well. And if the complaint was genuine, I give myself 4 hours again, using the powers given by the government of India, that if you can record why an inquiry is not possible in any case, you can throw out the delinquent employee summary. And we would record that because we don't want that lady employee to relive that horror once again, I, using the power given by the government of India, sack this gentleman now, and we would throw out the gentleman same day. We threw out 4 such people. And the message went to these ladies, and 15% of them. They said we were employed as technicians, fitters, welders, electricians. These men use us as helpers. So we made, I said, what can I do? Give us independence to work us. Made segregated gangs, all kinds of things, laboratory, birth making, plumbing, electronics labs, computer section, so on. And they did wonderful work. But what I leave with you, these are 29 Chennai women, aged 23 to 57, supervised by a lady supervisor, building through heavy building, heavy fabrication, heavy lifting, building a railway coach entirely on their own. And that proves, Mr. Hamlet, frailty thy name is not woman. Nari tum keval shraddha nahi ho. The time has come to treat women with complete respect and equality. No lip service there. And no organization which doesn't do it is doing it. One example of more of the same, so every time we exported grains, we were abused because it was exported against Indian line of credit. The receiving country had no option but to buy from us. Example, Sri Lanka. I'm taking this example on the bottom right. Bottom right, yeah. We would export to Sri Lanka, and our trains would be kept next to the Chinese trains, and we would be the big boys, aesthetics, technology. This time, I told my team that you people know everything. You people know more than I ever would, but work on it so that what we send to them should equal the quality of Chinese trains. I'm not asking you for the moon. And the team really worked hard, ladies and gentlemen. I was in Sri Lanka 3.5 years after retirement last year. So out of curiosity, I did meet some of those Sri Lankan engineers, and they told me that the train you see this time, what we have sent from ICF, what we have sent from India, is a train which excels the Chinese trains in aesthetics as well as technology. So now, 10 minutes of the story. So you know what a train is, there are coaches and locomotives. You attach them and detach them as per will, that's a train. But a train set is something which does not have locomotives. Only coaches, and all the equipment is mounted under the floor. Powering, air conditioning, heating if it's there, lighting, and everything. Pantry equipment, everything is under the floor. The space above the floor is totally for the passenger. You can walk from one cab to the last cab of 16, 18, whatever number of coaches. Through a sealed gangway, you will not even feel that you have cost a coach, unlike the rickety vestibule we have in coaches today. And you can pack so much equipment, there is no need of reversal. It comes like this, goes like this. But still, if there are so many benefits, for the last 25, 30 years world over in this speed range, only such trains are built. Why is it that we in India don't have a train of this type? The answer is not very complimentary to Indian Railways. What you see on the right top is internecine warfare of departments. Somebody maintains the train, somebody the coaches, somebody maintains the locomotive. They will fight whose mile off of this new animal that you are going to build, whose fiefdom it is going to be. Narrow consideration of department. Imagine. And let the interest of the country go to hell. This was the story for 25, 30 years. I was a part of that story as a junior officer. I would always say that you can delay, but you cannot stop. It is going to come someday. And then, of course, there is always this importer, and you can see the advantages of import. All these combined were keeping India from getting the train it deserves for 25, 30 years, if not more. We all have so many concerns. You step out, traffic is bad, things don't work. There are so many things you don't like. So there's a large circle of concern, but there is that small doubt of your influence which you forget. You are so consumed by these concerns that you forget your influence. There's a Chinese saying says that why curse the darkness of the world? Why not light your own torch and remove some darkness around you? The time for me to light that torch has come as the in charge of the largest factory of coachmaking, perhaps in the world in terms of numbers, and that brings me to the saying of the people's president, dreams. Having not lived our dream all our life, we tell youngsters, go and live your dream. I say, go and live your life. Your bread and butter, your family, look after that. But don't let the dream die, let it linger, let it not be extinguished. Someday, opportunity will come for you to realize that dream. And for me, that opportunity, heading this factory had come. And if I did not do anything about it now, then it was not a dream, it was a pipe dream. So there I was with the dream, and I thought the vision, a fortune of inheriting a great team of staff and engineers with ennui written on their face, bored of doing more of the same, with chutzpah and the audacity to do something new. All I needed was to channelize that energy, ladies and gentlemen, and the opportunity heading this platform of this large factory. But there was some doubt, one doubt. So you can spend anything, any money you want. You can spend thousands of crores. You have the power. Nothing goes to the ministry. But it's a new animal, new type of train. No locomotives. It will run at 180 kilometers per hour, as per our thinking. You need a sanction from the board to build it. And after that, you can do whatever you want. So I said, no problem, I'll go to the board, get this sanction. As your leader, but I was foolish, because there was this negativity, this jealousy. People thought I was spinning a yarn. Some thought I will not be able to make it. I say won't be able to make it. Import will. So basically, I was not getting a sanction for 5. November 16, we sent the proposal. Till March, April of 17, there was no sanction. Then I heard, I was abroad, I was coming to Delhi the next day, I heard that it was being dropped and it won't appear in sanctions. So I landed there, rushed to the house of which uninvited next day. I said, why are you not letting us make it? He said, I think you can do it, but other board members are not permitting me. I said, you are the chairman. You import whatever you want. Who am I to stop you? But we will build this train at 1/3 the cost of your import. That set him wavering a little. Then I said, I lied to him. I said, we are in April 17. You are retiring in July of 2018, sir. We will build it by then, and before you retire, you will come and cut the ribbon of this train. That was a lie. It would not have been possible. That wavered him, yes. And then I did something which people asked whether I actually did or not. So I grabbed his feet and I told him, I'm not leaving your feet till you give me this country. People have asked me, कि आपने सही में कर पकड़ा क्या? Now Mr. Mittal, the chairman, he no more. God bless his soul. I said, इसका आंसर चाहिए तो ऊपर जाना चाहिए. But the spirit is very simple. So you have pride. Pride elevates you. You look at everyone with happiness. And vanity diminishes you because you look. Belittle others to elevate yourself. By grabbing this feet, I was increasing my pride because I'll go back to my people with this action. And by grabbing his feet, I was just killing my vanity, which one of you would kill any day, definitely. So why not kill it myself today? That's simple. I got this action, go to my people. And then there is the next doubt. The next doubt is what I said about success. Okay, we are going to spend 200 crores. We know we can do it, but अगर नहीं चली तो who will be the scapegoat? I said, I am retiring in December 18. Which better scapegoat can you find? What will they do to a retired person? It's another matter that they tried. But don't look at that because my uncle has said, our doubts are traitors which make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. गिरते हैं शह सवार ही मैदान जंग में वो तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. Give your best, your passion, your commitment, your hard work. Outcome is not in your hands. It may fail one time, but since you have given everything, it will succeed the next time. If not the next time, next to next time. But you cannot fail if you have given your best. So don't doubt yourself, and that egg them on. Then there was this question, how do we go about it? And by the way, whenever I go to IIMs, particularly or IT, I tell them, don't make a big song and dance about these case studies. There are many case studies of this train I've made. I said, I can give you my failures. I have many. Make a study out of those failures because those failures would make bigger case studies for people to learn than this decorated failure of, case study of a success. So industry had grown, people like you, much better than railways themselves because you're not stifled by bureaucracy. We were riding on the success of the industry, most of them indigenous, in fact all of them indigenous. With that and our own progress, we made this table of 150 items to build such a train, and we found that there were 3 areas where we were just not there. And that's where this is important. What my uncle has said is that a fool thinks himself to be a wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. एक मूर्ख अपने को सियाना समझदा, एक सियाना अपने को मूर्ख समझदा. There is no shame in not knowing. There is a lot of shame in pretending that you know everyone. We said we will not go to a company. We don't want technology transfer. We don't want technology, which is an oxymoron. We go to consultants who will sit with us and help us design this train with the caveat that every word that they write, every line that they draw, everything that they do will be with our people. If required on video conferencing or face-to-face. But next time, they will be getting the know-why and the know-how. Next time you want to design a 200 kilometers per hour train, they'll be able to do it themselves. It worked fine. We finalized these 3 consultancies and it costs nothing. Whereas the technology transfer would cost 500 to 1,000 crores, this cost us 15 to 20 crores. That's the difference. They have no thought of supplying you anything except the design. Worked very well. And before I end the story, one last thing. So, you see, all of you would definitely appreciate that when you take a project of this magnitude, I'm really sorry, I just find I burst the time, but 5 more. From ideation to concept, to design, to engineer, to manufacture, to validate, to test, to prove out. It's a process of 36 to 42 months if you do it systematically. And that's the way to do it. So they said, we are starting in April 17, sir. You are retiring in December 18. By that time, only the drawings and the protocols would be ready. Manufacture would not start. What if the next leader comes and says, why are you doing it? Go do more of the same. Why are you taking this risk? Where would we be? I said, yes, that's a genuine problem. But that has only one solution. And that solution is that you gentlemen and ladies, with me, you will do something which has never been done in the world. You will give the Indian hard work of working like donkeys, burning your midnight oil, working to their time. You will do something which has never been done. And that is, you will turn out this train before I retire. That gives you 21 months. And to remember and to remind everyone that the train is going out of ICF in calendar year 2018, we will give it a name and we will give the name Train 18 to it. It excited everyone. After that, ladies and gentlemen, it was only a story of hitches, glitches, obstructions, but synergy and solution at every stage. I'll give you only one example. So we had consultants, foreigners, all these industry people like you and so many, not like our Sarkari people, but we did not do our meetings in air-conditioned rooms. We did our meetings right on the shop floor where the train was being built. Just to convey that message that all of ICF is in this together. Fortune favors the brave. The train relived up to its name once again and got completed in exactly 18 months and was launched, unveiled in October 2018. 6,000 to 7,000 people, families of integral coach factory employees. ICF, which had turned out 60,000 coaches, turned up to watch this one train. Why? Because each one of them thought that this was an ICF baby, created by ICF, created for India. And they came and took selfies there on that day. It was like a celebration which perhaps has never been done. It was turned out, tested at 180 kilometers plus with flying colors, was launched by the Prime Minister himself as Vande Bharat Express between New Delhi and Varanasi, which remains unfortunately or fortunately the fastest Vande Bharat with average speed of 96 to 97 kilometers even today. Average speed, maximum there is only 130, not even 160, for which it is capable of. That's another matter. After a negativity of 3 years, which we will not talk about, in August of 22, project picked up again. There are 34 such trains. There has been only one failure, which some of you would know, is far, far better than Six Sigma. I'll close everything with 3 things. One, so when we were building it, we knew we were just building a good train, nothing more. I mean, it's not a Chandrayaan, it's not Mangalyaan, it's not a rocket, it's not a missile. But the love and appreciation we got from the people of this country, travelers, non-travelers alike, was something we had never expected at all. It surprised us so much. Of course, we were happy, but it was a big surprise. And why was it? I think everyone in India looked at the train as a modern baby India had done, showing the world that India should do it. And it is covered by the Prime Minister himself. By the way, he is there for every single launch so far, except one. So he must love the train immensely. And on 15th August, from the ramparts of Red Fort and otherwise, he says something which perhaps describes it, and that is that this train represents, symbolizes the spirit of aspirational and resurgent India. 2 more things. My uncle has said introducing Cressida that things are done, but joy's soul lies in the doing. So ladies and gentlemen, it was great joy doing what I was doing there, but because of good people like Mr. Jain and Mr. Suri, I get invitations and an opportunity to live the story once again and live that sheer joy once again. And a message to young India, some of you are very young, 1 million such projects are possible in this country. All it needs is leadership with courage, passion, commitment, empathy, and a sense of purpose. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible and moving session we've just witnessed, and I believe I speak for everyone in the room and along. When I say that Sudhanshuji's words have left a profound impact on all of us, the passion and conviction with which he delivered his message with Shero Shairi was simply awe-inspiring. I think it's safe to say that his words will resonate with us long after this event is over. Mr. Sudhanshu Mani, on behalf of everyone here, I want to express our deepest gratitude for sharing your wisdom, your insights, your inspiring story with us today. Your speech was not just a presentation, sir. It was a transformational experience that will stay with us for a long, long time. Let's give another round of applause for this incredible speech for leaving us all inspired and motivated. May I now invite General Secretary Mr. Shobhan Suri and President of LMA, Mr. Nigajan, to kindly join on the stage. In the paucity of time, we will take 2 questions. And of course, we can network over dinner. May I request the technicals to pass on the mic. Please be brief with regards to your question. Kindly introduce yourself and the organization. Kindly raise your hands. Yes, sir. Dr. Prekumar. Could I have a mic here? Yes.
This has gone viral. Many of us, the pride of India has grown many times. So, in my own life, I have seen many stellar changes like this in some organizations. The challenge is, once the leader goes, then you have every chance of falling back on the old time. So, how as a leader you think we can institutionalize in a way that there is train 18 and there is train 21 and there is train 25 and then train 30. So it continues. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So it's customary to say a good question and you don't really know the answer. So let me begin by saying good question. So I wrote a chapter on this in my book, and I don't know what I wrote. So what you say is very correct. During the time, thanks to a professor in Kolkata who invited it, I was conscious of this all the time, and through my team members, the able ones, we were always trying to set up systems as far as possible. So we tried our best. I cannot give you any answer other than that. We always devoted half the time on not only the improvement, but the system through which the improvement was done. So we were conscious of it, but at the same time, I go back to what I said in the beginning. Unfortunately, the human vanity is much more than the human mind, and many things actually get demolished not because the system is bad or not perfect or whatever, but because the human vanity is not able to accept what was done by somebody else. So half of that has happened. I'm glad to report that half of the things, roughly, are working and half are not. And not that what we set up was the cat's whiskers. We also made mistakes, so maybe some new things have been done. But the question is very right, and I don't think I really have a good answer for that. Thank you, sir.
We have time for the last question. Yes, please, sir. Would you have the mic?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sachi. I am proud to be a part of your railway family because I was born by railway. It was a very inspirational and motivational talk. Now my question is, we are having a bullet train with a Japanese technology. Now we have got our Indian technology, Vande Bharat. What is the major difference between both of us?
Yes.
And in the coming years, which technology we are adopting? Thank you.
This is actually, a question where I have an answer. So, nevertheless, I will still call it a good question. So, sir, I'll not take any name. Some of you who understand will understand. And that's about vanity. I'll begin with that. So, we knew we were making a good train. We knew we were putting the best possible we could do in 18 months. But we were never fooling ourselves to think that we have reached the moon. Literally we have, but we did not. That we are matching the world standard. I always call it near world class. You would hear some people saying that we have made the best train in the world and so on. Somebody even comparing it with the bullet train. Look at the vanity. 60 years back, in 1964, the Japanese made a 210 kilometers per hour train. And we were making a 180 kilometer plus train, possibly to go up to 200 in 2018. We have to be conscious of that. So the thing is mindlessly global, hopelessly local. In this case, the gap is too large. We are not there yet for making a 350 kilometers per hour train. For that, we need hand-holding. That hand-holding the Prime Minister has enabled through the Ahmedabad Mumbai high-speed rail. The problem is that there's a lot of talk that this is Japanese loan, soft loan. There's nothing like a soft loan in the world. It's an interest-free loan, but what happens is you spend that money and you have to buy the trains from Japan at 3 times the prices or whatever. Now that's a norm, I'm not criticizing it. Let that happen. But at the same time, having taken the loan, it is my money. And I could put the condition on the Japanese that when you design the train, you sit with us. There's a lot of money, 1.4 lakh crores. You better teach our people, or work with our people, let them work together, so that next time I want to design a train, we do it ourselves. That, unfortunately, I don't think is happening. So, since we are not there, but where are we? We have done 180, we can go to 200. To challenge ourselves, I would say that we can see the high speed truly starts at 250, but 240 is also a good high speed. We are capable to do 240 kilometers per hour train over a 3-4 year period. They should be challenged to do it now. This was done by ICF on their own. Now, ministries, whoever should tell that you have to make a 240 kilometers per hour train. Don't be afraid. Where do we have the track to run it? We don't have the track. We have only 160 kilometers per hour train. But we are getting this Ahmedabad Mumbai tracks. We can tell the Japanese that in rush hour, your 350 kilometers per hour train would run. In slack time, my 240 kilometers per hour train would run. We will experiment, we will learn, and we will be in position to take the further jump. That must happen and the work must start. Now, I've written about it in newspaper here and there, whatever is within my power to do, because so I have no power and authority. I am a consultant. Those interested over drinks I can define what a consultant is. So, not here. So I do hope it happens. And the capability exists. And unless we take those baby steps, these are not even baby, these are large steps. We have the capability to reach the bullet train level in 10 years. China has done it. See where China has reached. Japani Mal, World War II के time, Japani Mal meant shoddy goods. 50s onwards, look at Japan. 20 years back, 15 years back, Chini Mal meant what you know it meant. We don't say that anymore, because they make quality products today. We have to reach there. And we can only reach if we exert ourselves and challenge ourselves. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that answer. We'll close the questions for now, guys. Thank you, sir.
I will take 30 seconds, if you don't mind.
Please.
So, as I said, I got as a leader, all the appreciation far beyond I deserve. But there was a team behind it, which put in everything, much more than me. They remained unknown and unsung. At some point I was blogging, at some point, because of negativity, I withdrew. But then I thought it is my duty, nobody better than me, to recall each and every team member as far as possible and record his contribution to the product, to the project, and recount the whole story. And that's when I wrote this book. It's called The My Train 18 Story. It's available on Amazon. I have no commercial interest in its sale, but I'm happy that I have been able to call out each and every team member by name and their contribution, and that gave me immense satisfaction, because otherwise they would have remained unknown and unsung. And today, for affording me this pleasure to come and address you, I'm happy to present one copy to Mr. Suri.
Thank you, sir. Now, before we move on to the presidential remarks and open the house for dinner and cocktails, we have something special for all the members of the Ludhiana Management Association. Something that the executive team has been working on for a long, long time now. It is a matter of pride for me to call upon this little surprise, which I would invite Mr. Shobhan Suri to come in and disclose in front of all of you. Mr. Suri.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. So, thank you so much, Roger, for creating it as a surprise. I'm delighted to stand before you today to officially launch the website of the Ludhiana Management Association, which was long due. This digital milestone marks an exciting new chapter in our organization's journey towards excellence in management practices. In an increasingly interconnected world, a strong online presence is vital. This website will serve as a hub of knowledge, networking, and collaboration of our members and the wider community. Through this website, we aim to facilitate discussions on the latest management trends, offer valuable resources, and provide a space for professionals to connect and grow. We envision it as a dynamic space that will foster learning as professional development and advancement of management expertise in our region. I want to express my gratitude to the dedicated team that was working tirelessly to bring this website to life. Their commitment to the Ludhiana Management Association's mission is truly commendable. Under the leadership of our President, Mr. Neeraj Jain, I encourage all of you to explore the website, engage with this content, share your ideas and articles, and become active participants in this digital community. Together, we can leverage this platform to elevate our collective knowledge and contribute to the growth and prosperity of our region. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to an exciting journey ahead as we harness the power of the website to advance management excellence in Ludhiana. And we have the display of the website. before we move forward, there's another important invitation on behalf of Vedanta Academy, Ludhiana, who are organizing a discourse on values for positive living by Sunandaji at Ludhiana Bhavan starting tomorrow evening. The team is around to invite you. They have put some displays here, so kindly connect with them. They are wearing those beautiful kurtas and pajamas and everything here. So Raghav and his team are here. Thank you for inviting all of us at Ludhiana Management Association. I would now request Mr. Neeraj Jain, President of Ludhiana Management Association, to make his presidential remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All of us know change is inevitable. Business has been evolving over a period of time, and changes are must. There was a time when the business was done only based on probably the price or the quality. But I think over a period of time things changed. The quality and the price were supposedly the given situation, and you can expect the right quality, the right price. The changes which happened or the new requirements are probably the services, the speed of the business by which we can respond and we can report back to the customers. This needed a big change in the mindset of the organizations, especially the large organizations. There is time gaps, US, Europe, Japan, India, other countries. The customer is not really concerned whether you are responding, whether you are in a different time zone or where you are, because we require to reply as per their needs. And that's where, because if you are not doing someone else does, they get the opportunity to do business. There was a time, I'm not talking about many decades back, maybe a decade back only, where the customer will send you an email, you can reply them in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But slowly as the technology improved, people started using the WhatsApp and they will just send you the message and they want the reply within a couple of minutes. This needed a total revamp of the thoughts where the large or the hierarchy-based organizations were working. We require to speed up things, we require to maybe cut short lots of ideas, lots of processes so that we can respond. Two, I think it's also related to the people, where the people have to be engaged fully, and unless you have a motivated team, you have a dedicated team, it's impossible to continue the business, because otherwise you lose the opportunity, you don't reply, you are probably not in the business. Correlating with that, I think if you look at today's session, it's a fantastic examples Mr. Mani has given, where coming from a government organization, he's created something which many of the private organizations are not able to do even. So breaking lots of barriers, creating the speed, trusting the people, unlike, because even in the private organizations, many times this thought comes, you have to prepare yourself for the various audits and various questions which will be coming to you. And rather than taking a decision, the first thing is how do you save yourself? I think it's an organization as an individual which is worked contrary to the government's thoughts, creating something in a span of 17-18 months, which I think is going to be very, very difficult for the private organizations to do that. It's a great learning for all of us. How can we engage our people? How can we motivate them? Because without people, technology will be given to many of us. The quality of change and those kind of things are very, very constant today and are available to everyone with a price given. At the same time, the major difference is going to be the way you do the business, which is the speed, and the way your people are engaging or motivating. I think a great example which is given, and I'm sure it's more than the story of train making. I think it's more than the way we are doing the business, the way we are handling our people, the way we can trust them, the way we can motivate them is a great example for all of us, and I'm sure a long way for us to think on that and work accordingly on that. So thank you very much, Mr. Mani. It's been a really, really privilege to listen to what you have created, and I'm sure all of us are motivated and want to make changes much more than what we have done till now, and I'm sure all of us will look at our own areas and find what more can be done to speed up the things, to take this country to a different level. Thank you very much and enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Jain. Before we go with the vote of thanks, I would request Mr. Vijay Mundal and Dr. Prem Kumarji to kindly give away a token of love to our guest speaker. Can you join us on the stage? May I now request Mr. V.K. Goyal, past President of Ludhiana Management Association, to give away the vote of thanks.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It has indeed been a great privilege to listen to Mr. Sudhanshu Mani. I think he gave us wonderful insights into leadership, very simple principles, if adopted, indeed work wonders. I think that's one of the biggest lessons which I learned from him today. In fact, if I look back into my own functioning, when I started working as management trainee and thereafter, I found a lot of practicality in what he said. The kind of love and affection that you're able to generate from the people with whom you work, the kind of love and affection that you have for your work that you do, and the place where you work also has to be loved deeply. That's what brings the best out of you. I think each one of us can look back and will get an answer in positive, that wherever we show that kind of love and affection and the kind of involvement in what you do does much better than what you normally do not do with love and affection. I think that's one very, very clear message, and this works actually. I have seen it a number of times. A few things that I saw during my career, that when people are expected to do something, leadership role has to take a frontal seat. We found very, very small things in the organization which were not happening despite talking to people time and again. But it happened when somebody took the charge and said that this has got to be done, and it showed the way to people as to how to do it. This is how people will start following you. I'll just give one very small example. In a spinning mill where I worked for 30 long years, we had a lot of migrants from UP and Bihar, and we had a very large workforce. The number was almost about 6,000. At that time, we actually reduced to about 3,000 in a matter of about 10 years' time, which was very long. In fact, we shouldn't have taken that long. And we found that all the walls in the factory were spoiled by the people because they were chewing tobacco, they were chewing palms and whatnot. That was the kind of thing that they were doing every time. So I raised the question to our people as the general manager of the company as to what should be done to overcome this problem. Many people said that these people will not agree to what we tell them. You must impose fine on everybody who is found spitting in the factory or spoiling the walls. I thought for a while. I asked many people also a few days. Later on, we called a meeting of the jobbers, who were the senior workers who lead a team of say about 30 people, 40 people. And when we talked to all of them, they said, this is given and they are not educated class. I said to them that by putting a fine, you will not be able to do it. Let's try another method. I don't know whether we succeed or not. Let's tell them that whosoever is found spitting or creating dirt in the organization, he will be responsible to clean it by himself in front of all the rest of the people. We started doing it, and I think Mr. Rekhi was also there at that time. He he saw it himself happening because he comes from the manufacturing area. We found that in about 15 days' time, people started responding, and we found that the level of problems those were being created were reducing every day. And it didn't take us more than 3 months before we could stop smoking, chewing tobacco, or chewing pan in the factory premises. And once we achieved that, one day I talked to the workers in a large meeting, about 200 people. I said, why do you do it in the factory that you are keeping clean and you don't keep the colony clean? Why are you doing this? So they said, sir, आदत से मजबूर है, हम छोटी सकते हैं इसको. We went to the colony, we invited the women from the factory. We collected about 100 women, we spoke to them and we questioned them. That while these people, while in the factory for about 8 to 12 hours, can keep the factory clean, why don't you question them as to why they can't keep their homes clean, why can't they keep their factory, this colony clean? And believe me, the results were wonderful. We could stop smoking, chewing tobacco and chewing palms in the colony itself also. I do not know what's the condition now, but that was the time that we could bring about 100% compliance on this voluntarily. It was not by any force. So if you take a position and if you take people alongside, you can do it. And he also gave a very good example that if you want to clean, you can do it. In the colony, we need to take a decision that this colony must be cleaned every 15 days. In the first place, make sure that we don't create dirt, and if at all we create any filth or dirt here, it must be cleaned properly. We gave a call to all other people in the colony that we would like to have a shramdan every Saturday. So every Saturday we will go to the colony along with the senior officers of the unit, and the people would come in large numbers, including children, ladies, and the workers. And we would all spend about 1 hour and clean the colony, and this would look like a beautiful place. And next Saturday again we take the round, and over a period of time this became a habit with people, and factory started doing much better and looking much better. And people, in fact, I remember her name is not here. She came down to Bardhaman and she went to the colony around, and she wrote an article in Economic Times on this as to how it was being done and how the young children of the workers who were not even 2 years or 3 years old and they were creating a lot of problems for the mothers. They were put to use. We had a community center, we organized some workers from the ladies only, and they would take some time out every day. They would teach those children for 2-3 hours and start educating them from very young age. And this was a great amount of pride in this among those ladies. So I'm very sorry that I've taken a little longer time on this, but the idea was to explain as to how it worked, and thank you very much, Mr. Mani, for giving us these insights and taking us back to those kind of lessons that we learned in our very young days. And I'm sure today we have taken a lot of ideas from you, a lot of good insights into leadership and innovation. And I'm sure that each one of us will be wiser today after listening to you. Thank you very much. You could take that trouble of coming here. And we would really love to have you sometime again in the Ludhiana Management Association so that we can always get something new from you. Because in you we find a person who is always thinking, who is always trying to do better things than before. Because I also personally believe there is nothing best like in this world. You can always better the best. I think that's the spirit. If we carry with us, we can always become better. And I also must thank all of the members who have come in large numbers today. And I'm sure this gives a lot of encouragement to the executive committee of the association to organize programs of this standard. And again, my grateful thanks to the entire office bearers team in the association who have thought of bringing about a change in the decor also of this meeting. In fact, we have made wonderful change this time. Raghav, I'm sure you were very deeply involved and you were looking for this kind of change. And my grateful thanks to all the office bearers. I think the leader of the team leaders has done wonderfully well to motivate all of you to do this function in this manner. In fact, it was not very easy for us to believe when we entered here that whether it was LMA function, it was a wedding taking place here, because usually we find this kind of setting in weddings in Ludhiana. So thank you very much, the entire team, and I would also like to thank the press and both the print media and the electronic media for carrying our activities into the newspapers and the TV channels in a very, very useful manner, and thank you very much. And with this, I would like to once again thank Mr. Mani especially, so thank you very much. I have no words to explain as to how wonderfully you have explained and how good we feel about it. We really feel motivated even at this age. And In the end, I'll request all of you to kindly join us for dinner, and also drinks are available today. So he has been very, very kind to all of us to provide even for dinners, which normally doesn't happen here nowadays. So thank you very much, all of you, once again, and enjoy your evening, enjoy your dinner, and please keep your memory intact about whatever Mr. Mani has taught all of us today. Thank you.